India is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world. The cultural heritage has developed gradually in thousands of years and has aided in the development of different beliefs and diversified culture. Of all the history of civilizations in India, the Vedic age must be regarded as the most important era, as during this period, the Dharmic religions took shape and the country that we call Bharat today became truly existent. So which time period does this era refer to, and what was the socio-economic status of people then? Let us go back about 3000 years ago to understand this. The Vedic Age in India refers to the period between 1500 BCE and 500 BCE, when the Vedas, the most sacred texts of Hinduism, were composed. It was a great time of intellectual and spiritual awakening, where sages, seers pondered the mysteries of the universe and explored the nature of the self. During the Vedic Age, the Indian subcontinent was divided into various kingdoms and tribal societies, each with its own unique culture and traditions. The Vedas were composed during this time and were passed down orally from generation to generation until they were finally written down in the Sanskrit language. The Vedas consist of four main texts: the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Atharva Veda. The Rig Veda is the oldest and the most important of the four Vedas. It contains 1028 hymns dedicated to various deities such as Agni, the god of fire, and Indra, the god of thunder and war. The hymns in the Rig Veda praise the gods and ask for their blessings, protection, and guidance. The Yajur Veda contains instructions on performing rituals and ceremonies, while the Sama Veda is a collection of melodies used in Vedic rituals. The Atharva Veda is a collection of spells, incantations, and charms used for healing, protection, and other purposes. The Vedic age was also marked by the development of a sophisticated vernacular system, which divided the society into four main groups based on their working profession. The Brahmins, comprised of priests and scholars, the Kshatriyas, or the warriors and rulers, the Vaishyas, or merchants and traders, and the Shudras, who were the laborers and artisans. The Vedic people were also skilled in metallurgy, agriculture, and weaving. They used iron tools and weapons and cultivated crops such as rice, wheat, and barley. They also made intricate textiles and pottery. The Vedic age was a time of great philosophical and spiritual inquiry. The Upanishads, a collection of philosophical texts, were written during this time, and these explore the nature of the self, the universe, and the ultimate reality. They advocate a path of self-realization and detachment from worldly attachments. The socio-economic condition of Indians during the Vedic age was primarily characterized by a rural agrarian economy and a hierarchical social system based on profession. The Vedic people were primarily pastoralists who relied on their herds of cattle for their livelihoods. Agriculture was also practiced, with rice, wheat, barley, and other crops being grown in the fertile river valleys of the Indian subcontinent. Trade and commerce were also present during this time, with merchants and traders traveling across the subcontinent to exchange goods such as spices, textiles, and precious metals. The use of coins as a medium of exchange was not yet widespread, and barter was the primary mode of trade. Women in the Vedic age held a respected and honored position in society, with some even occupying positions of power and authority. However, the caste system and patriarchal norms limited their opportunities and relegated them to roles primarily associated with domestic duties and child rearing. Religion also played a significant role in the socio-economic conditions of Indians during the Vedic age. The Vedas, the most important religious texts of Hinduism, were composed during this time and were a source of guidance and inspiration for the people. The Brahmins held a dominant position in the society due to their role as religious leaders and scholars. By the end of the Vedic age, around 500 BCE, India had undergone significant changes both socially and politically. One of the most significant developments was the emergence of new religions and philosophies such as Buddhism and Jainism, which challenged the authorities of the Vedic Brahmins and advocated for a more egalitarian and ethical way of life. Politically, the Vedic kingdoms had given way to larger and more centralized states called Mahajanpads, which expanded its power over much of the Indian subcontinent. The Mahajanpads were 16 powerful and independent kingdoms that emerged in ancient India during the 6th century BCE. They were spread across the northern and eastern parts of the Indian subcontinent, and their emergence marked the beginning of the second urbanization in India. These kingdoms were characterized by a central administration, a strong army, and a well-developed economy. They were also known for their rich cultural and artistic traditions, with cities such as Patliputra, Takshila, and Vaishali serving as centers of learning and trade. Overall, the end of the Vedic age marked a period of significant change and transformation in India. The emergence of new religions, philosophies, and empires led to new ideas, beliefs, and practices that continued to shape Indian society and culture for centuries to come. This was all for this video. Thank you for watching.